welcome back to Aether. This is Satomi and Paul from sakasa.ca. And this week, another interesting topic. And
Do we have a sixth sense?
do we have a sixth
Do
sense?
you have a sixth sense?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. What do you think?
Well, I'm a little bit biased, right?
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, when I was growing up, I always felt like there was some unusual things that happened. I mean, unusual things did happen, right? My own personal experience, I saw things, I experienced things
Mm-hmm.
that there's no way that I can put into a context where it says it does not exist. If I were to do that, because at one point I saw a spirit, right? For example,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was very intense, that experience. And I was young, and I was totally conscious and stuff like that. So there's no way for me to say, this was an invalid experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't be able to tell the difference between that experience and real life, and then so what's real and what's not, right?
Okay.
So I can't. I've never been able to, from when I was young, been able to say that it's not a thing, that sixth sense, paranormal phenomena, things like that they are simply not real.
Mm-hmm.
So what were they? I did not know. How good are they? I don't know. Who can do it? Who can't? I never really felt like I was in some way specially gifted, right? I always thought I was normal. Maybe some people think that.
So what is sixth sense?
So sixth sense is anything that would be outside
what
of
do you think?
our regular five senses, right?
Mhm.
Any kind of experience that we have
Mm-hmm.
that involves something beyond vision, hearing,
Mm-hmm.
touch, taste, and smell,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if we have an experience that goes beyond that, like we know something that we shouldn't know, for example,
Mm-hmm.
before it happens, right? That kind of thing. Something happens, something we know is going to happen, and then it happens, right? Or too many coincidences happen, right? To ignore, right? I mean, coincidences. That's got to be a real thing. That's got to be that some things happen by fluke, right? Some things, whatever those are, like when I'm playing a card game, right? I don't think it really matters whether I get the 3 of hearts or the 4 of hearts in my hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be kind of random. That's what I would expect, right?
Mm-hmm.
So some things I would say is very reasonable to say that's random, but is everything random? I don't think so. I think differently, but I'm kind of unusual, maybe.
Okay, it's a little bit confusing. So to me, I don't know, sixth sense. That's hard to describe, but that's like a gut feeling, or intuition. That's I would just describe simply as a sixth sense. Like you use all different words that out of this, but that just simply going with more like a gut feeling, and it includes what you said, I think, and then that way, if we talk about sixth sense as a gut feeling, and lots of people understand what sixth sense is, because lots of people say, listen to your gut feeling, right? Instead of use your sixth sense. You don't hear that so much, but so that's, to me, that's sixth sense, right? And then, yeah, we do have a sixth sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I was probably being maybe too inclusive for the term sixth sense when I answered before, because I included like coincidences and stuff like that. I guess that would be more like if those are like, if it's like because of synchronicity, then that would be more like paranormal phenomena in general, which is more inclusive than sixth sense. So, okay, fair enough. But yeah,
Yeah. So
still, everything I
yeah,
said before that still
yeah,
applies.
it's just a little bit hard to follow because yes, it's unlimited. It just goes beyond what we can imagine. But I'm trying to start from where I am, what I can think, right? Instead of going beyond, then it's a little bit hard to follow. But anyway, so in that case, if you were talking about gut feeling, I can translate easily sixth sense, and then yes, I do. I do believe. I don't know. Believe is the word. I know we have sixth sense, right? And then and lots of people would believe or know that it's the real thing, right? Because we experienced it, right?
Yeah. But I'm kind of a weirdo too, because like I studied science. I became a scientist as a biologist, and I never invalidated that idea that sixth sense was real, right? I wouldn't talk about it every day while I was at the university, but I would talk about it with some of my colleagues, right? At sometimes when we're having beers and something like that, right? And I would get mixed responses. Sometimes people would be willing to entertain the conversation. Sometimes, I guess, did I ever get somebody really interested? I think so. Yeah, I think it's fair to say that some people were genuinely interested, right? But I'd say quite a bit of them were pretty materialistic and would be kind of, well, whatever, right? And not believe it at all. So, yeah, everybody has different perspectives, and that's fine.
Yeah. What was the point?
I don't know. It's just that we're going to talk about some science today.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. See
Yeah.
how science comes into this whole thing. But
Okay.
yeah, that's down the road here.
Yeah. So like you were when we pretty much first met and went out first time together, and all he talked about was like this first time sitting
I don't
together.
remember that, but you're being like the woman who remembers what I was wearing on that day, kind of
I don't
thing.
remember what you were wearing,
But you remember I was talking about
for
this.
3 hours, and what he talked about this this something that you cannot explain, and we are connected, and we are like we can actually feel, and those kind of things. We talked about that on and on and on for 3 hours, right? And I was like, okay, it's kind of interesting, but it's a little bit going and very, how can I say, explanatory. Yeah, like he loves to explain in details, and then it's so he used all 3 hours, but that's how he is, like spiritual and sixth sense, and nothing, and then science too, but how science is proving the sixth sense is, right? He was into that so much, and I was like, okay, and he is asking, how do you explain this? after he explained so many things and he threw me a question. So tell me, how do you explain this? What do you think about this? On the first date. It's like, I don't know. That's what happens, and that's what happens. I don't need any explanation. I don't want to explain anything. I don't need to convince anything. So I'm just living my life here. But it was like that. And yeah, but I do believe, like I don't really like the word believe, but I know we have sixth sense and we do use sixth sense, right? And but this is both of us kind of in the same on the same side that we have sixth sense. We both agree.
Yeah.
It would be nice if we have another person, third person here, and say, no, we don't. Then we can have a
We're a little
heated.
I guess now we're a little biased, right?
Heated conversation. So if somebody is watching, you have different opinion, you can just leave comments, and then we can talk about it, right? But so it's a little bit one-sided right now, but so yeah, but you know what? I do believe I keep using this believe. It's kind of a lazy way of using the words, but I know I do use sixth sense, but then and he was asking me like, how about psychic ability, right? That is sixth sense, right? And then lots of people know about this. I was really prejudiced about psychic.
Yeah.
Really, I.
So you were that's what I don't really get is how you were okay with with the idea of sixth sense, but you were not okay with psychics.
Yeah.
Or psychic phenomena, or which is it, psychics or psychic phenomena?
I would say psychics, like the psychic people. No offense, I'm one of them right now, and so, but I came from that that side, that not like a really prejudiced and really skeptical about psychic readings and those things. One thing I was okay with the palm reading. I don't know. It's like it's here.
Weird
and
way
then
to draw the
read
lines.
it, and then I for some reason I do it's like a this is real, right? But I don't know. It's like psychic people. I don't know. It's an old movie, Ghost.
Yeah.
Demi Moore, and
Goldie Hawn.
Yeah.
Whoopi
Goldberg.
Whoopi Goldberg.
Right. So that's she played that role pretty well. Like me looking at psychic, and then she was
played the role.
Yes, she did connect to the ghost, right? Mm-hmm. But before, I don't know anybody remember, like she didn't have it.
She was faking it.
She was faking it. She was saying, my grandmother had it, my mom had it, but I don't have it. I can't hear, I can't see, and she was faking it, right? And that's how I saw most of the psychic people, like it. Really, right? And then I had the feeling that lots of people faking it, right? And then because like she was on the movie, it's part of the movie, and then if it's not a thing, it's not become a part of a movie, like faking it, right?
Well, and I think there's a reason for that, right? Because like I do think that it's my opinion that some people do fake it, and I think it's fair to say that an organization like Psychic Friends Network is pretty was pretty suspicious
Mm-hmm.
because it did come out in court documents at some point that they were training them on like just taking people, just hiring somebody
Mm-hmm.
and then training them to do things a certain way to for so the caller, the customer would think that they are a psychic, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they had that as their procedure.
It
So
was like a textbook
yeah,
that if you are asked
it was
this way,
training
answer
manual
this way,
thing.
kind
Yeah,
of thing,
yeah,
then you will look like psychic.
yeah, yeah.
And then probably
I don't think they're in
yeah.
business anymore, but that's what happened,
Okay.
and so I think it's fair, and I do believe that there are a percentage of people out there who are not necessarily genuine.
Yeah, so maybe like it's I wouldn't say like they're totally faking it, but the part that I don't like is they doing it to sell stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and oh you have this problem, you if you buy this one you're gonna be okay, those kind of if you
So they're
right.
leveraging that relationship to gain money.
Yeah,
That's what you're saying.
yeah. So like they
For
put
that
in a
purpose, not to help the person,
yeah,
but to gain money.
yeah.
Yeah.
You put them in a fear state, right?
Yeah.
Oh, this gonna come to you next year. You're gonna be in a big trouble. But if you buy this one,
Yeah.
right?
If you buy these crystals or
Yeah,
something like that that are special,
yeah,
not just like regular crystals, these ones will protect you or something like that, right? Yeah. So, and I totally get that.
So
That's not
yeah,
it's not cool.
yeah. That's I think that's the biggest reason I didn't have respect toward psychic people, and I knew there are like a genuine people, but how
Wait.
do you find them?
Wait. So I see. I'm trying to figure out how she divides this stuff up. So work with me here. Work with me here. You were open to the idea of sixth sense. You were skeptical about psychics, but you also accepted that some psychics were real.
Yeah, I because I do believe in sixth sense, right? And every time I use believe, I'm just like, no, that's not what I know. Really, it's
so you figured that some of them were.
I know. I do use sixth sense, and I'm not the only one, right? Everybody is same as a human, so I know other people use sixth sense, right? So it's only this, I'm just being logical here, but and then me being me, like I don't, I trust my sixth sense, and then I don't want other people tell me you have to do this, you have to do that.
Okay,
right?
well that's yeah, I
right?
can see that.
And
Yeah.
if you're clear, if you have vision, and then why you have to go there and have other people tell me my vision.
So you would have a sixth sense about things, is what you're saying. That this is the right way to do things. This isn't necessarily the right way to do things. It was all internal, right? It was just inside yourself, and you trusted that, right? But you didn't want somebody else from the outside to tell you that, and you figured that you had it handled, and that somebody else coming in might not be genuine, and so you kind of didn't want to deal with them or didn't want to deal with the whole side of things.
Because I didn't need anyone to see my future or anything, right? I didn't feel a need, and then them telling me what maybe they would have told me something totally different, and I would have like a eye opener kind of thing, but I never really did. So I cannot tell, but yeah, it's just, and then it's, I don't know, you cannot really, I just didn't like that the image that I was creating in my head, like a dark room. And I don't like dark room, and a dark room, and they have crystal here, and they were going like this. And that was the image, and it's like a creepy. And so I guess I created some bias, and I just
So like a stereotype kind of thing.
yeah. So I was
yeah.
creating that,
Yeah.
and
So did you ever think about other people, and like were you thinking automatically that if you had that kind of internal guidance and you trusted it, that other people would also have it, and so then there's really no need to have someone who's a psychic?
I think there are lots of people that way.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. No, I'm not saying there's not, but different people, I think, are different in their trust of their own intuition. Some people trust it like yourselves, you always did. Some people do not, right?
Yeah.
Right? And then there's in between. And some people just say none of it's real. It's only five senses. You're just making everything else. You're just making up, right? So
What was the question?
So I'm asking you, like, I'm trying to figure out how you formulated this negative opinion of psychics, because other people might need psychics if they don't trust their own intuition, right?
Yeah. So yeah, that's great. Like I had a friend from school. She was really into psychic, and she loved going to readings and stuff, right? And where we grew up, sometimes like a street, on the street there's a psychic sitting, right? And then you go there, line up, and they give you a reading. And she's like, "Hey, I want to go. You wanna do it together? I'll wait here. You go ahead, and I'll just wait here. You go ahead and get some reading." Okay. I'm gonna go. And she goes, and she comes back, and then she was happy, and she told me this and that and that, and it's like that. And I actually didn't see any value in what she received.
Why is that?
Because I felt like, so what? I don't know, like in 3 months I don't know, for example, let's say in 3 months someone special shows up, right? Or in next year you're gonna find a great job, kind of thing. And I was like,
that's not the kind of readings that you do, right?
But it's like
but that's fine. Some people do it different ways.
And so I felt like, so what? Because it's not something that I would want to know, right? I knew, and I still know that if I'm following what I want to do, it's gonna happen, right? It's just that.
So in other words, whether you had that information or not on that day, that thing was still going to happen.
Yeah.
So going to the psychic to find it out wasn't going to make any difference.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
And like, it's so. And then if that's true, let's say, if that's true, like I'm gonna meet someone, perfect person, or right, a partner in 3 months. Do I want to know that? No, I don't want to know. I want a surprise. I want a surprise.
Some people would.
Like, am I counting down? Okay. Three more months. Okay, 2 more months. 1 more month. No, this is not something I want to do. So those kind of things, I didn't see any value. And those are the popular
Well, you can psych
ones.
yourself out with that kind of information, because if you go, like, it's on the day. It's 3 months later, right? And oh my goodness, you were invited to a party. This must be it, right? So you go there, you meet some people, right? And some people are available, right? It's like, and then you're like maybe you zero in on somebody, and it's not that person, right? It's the quiet one in the corner, right? Who you didn't really gel with. That's actually the right one. You can really psych yourself out.
Yeah, and
Right?
probably that would help too, right? You are getting ready, and I'm going to meet, and if you totally believe, right, it's a law of attraction, it could happen, right? So sure, but
So maybe being told helped to make it happen. In other words,
probably it will happen. I don't know. I'm helping our business doing this. I'm
You're being a little bit critical of psychic stuff.
this side, but it's true. And I don't want to lie. And
Well, that's where you came from.
That's
right?
where I came from.
I mean, now it's different, right?
Now it's different.
Because we've shared this before, how you all of a sudden, unexpectedly, without doing anything special to make it happen, you just opened up. All of a sudden, then you're receiving all the kind of stuff that you were kind of I'm pushing away. Like you talked about this a little bit before as well. I think on Aether that, and I think it weighs into this conversation that part of the reason why you had maybe kind of a thing like this with psychics is that you didn't want to have anything to do with facing your own psychic ability and working with it, right?
Probably.
So anything with the label psychic on it, you're
pushing
pushing it away, right?
Close the door. Close that door, Drew. Close that door.
Because you were trying so hard to keep it out, right? And so I think that's a huge part of why you were feeling the way you did about the whole psychic thing.
Yeah. I can hear something coming. Close the door.
Yeah.
I can hear the wave coming. Close the door.
Yeah.
Right. Close. And then finally, big tsunami, and took away all the doors that I kept closed.
Yeah.
And then I was right in there.
How many other people are in that position, right? That's a very, to me, a very interesting question. Is how many people are out there right now who are, have kind of lived generally, I guess, normal lives, right? And they've had like certain intuitions that have kind of been validated, right? For some reason, whatever it is. Some had experiences that have kind of said, well, maybe, right? And then there's that feeling that's sort of drawing them maybe towards that, right? Or like in your case, that's pushing it away, right? So either way, because honestly, we do believe that everybody is psychic, right? Everybody has that. It's a natural part of being human. We actually really do believe in a sixth sense for everyone, and it's just a matter of how, it's kind of like someone who's athletic tends to be athletic maybe from early on, and they just have a natural ability there, and then they maybe develop it because they're good at it, right? And then they become like a soccer player, professional, or something like that, right? Or in another case where somebody who would like to be that way and they work on it, right? They're not necessarily out of the gate that great at it, and they work on it and they do become really good at it. Maybe they don't go to the Olympics or something, but maybe they are still really athletic and in shape their whole lives and all that kind of stuff. They're kind of sporty.
Same thing. It's like a muscle, right?
Yeah, exactly. It is like a muscle, right?
So exactly that's how I would explain about psychic ability. And like some people are born to be the top of the world, like Olympian, right? And some people are not. Some people have different gifts, right? And so not becoming an Olympian, but then you can practice and
and become capable, right? You can become at least it's a tool that you can use and help you with your day, right? not
Mhm.
necessarily the top-notch professional.
Yeah, like playing guitar,
Yeah.
you can be you can be born natural and
Mhm.
playing without you. Hey, you play.
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know how to play and start playing. Right.
Mhm.
Some people are like that, and then they can become like a top of the world.
Mhm.
But even if you don't have that natural talent, you practice and you will be able to play a song or two. Right.
Mhm.
So it's the same thing. Psychic ability, sixth sense, we do have. Um, that's what we think. And just, we're not put, we're not.
Well, it's not just what we think. We're actually going to show scientific evidence for that,
Mhm.
right? And that's something that I think is, like Satomi said, I do have a real interest in that. And there is real evidence that's been put forward,
Yeah,
right? It's just that it's not really talked about that much,
like
right?
because we say, oh, it's a coincidence. Oh, it's a coincidence, right?
Mhm.
If you say all the things that's happening because we're connected, because we are using sixth sense, but if you don't believe that, and you can just call it's a coincidence, right? But even if it's a coincidence, right? Let's say you are, how can I say, what would be a good one? You're looking for a job, and this guy just showed up when you're having coffee. This guy, friend of you, showed up, and you're having a chat, and then he talking about this company hiring or something.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, okay, that's cool. And then maybe that's a coincidence. I was just thinking about it, right?
Mhm.
And then coincidence. And then you go somewhere else and then you're talking on the phone with totally different friend. And then he is talking again, talking about somebody hiring it wherever you are looking into, right? Hey, what a coincidence, but is it? Right? And if you really look into it, it's like you can take it as a coincidence or you can take it as it's brought to you,
Mhm.
right?
Or as a possible, right? Or it's possibly something significant, right? And that's something that I find to be very useful. And it honors like the scientific side of things, right? Being objective, right? Being open-minded, objective, and having enough skepticism to be able to figure out what doesn't really connect, right? But if you can either believe it fully, right, 100% without question, or you can dismiss it fully, 100% without question. I think both of those are errors, in my humble opinion, and that you want to be in the middle. You want to have a balance, right, to sort through that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't like a both way. If it's this side or this side, you're just being blind, kind of right? So open-minded and go, right? And that's all we can do, right? We don't have to. This is have to be this way. No,
Yeah.
it don't have to be
Yeah.
that way.
And we would never
Right.
tell anybody that it is like this, right? You have to believe it. We never actually tell anybody to believe anything, right? So it's a matter of them sort of being, like I said, being open and letting the evidence speak for itself over time, right? Being open to it, keeping kind of notes, right? And then letting it show itself one way or the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's and if anyone is interested to see if it's a coincidence or not, maybe making some notes.
A journal.
A journal, yeah,
Keeping a journal
You
is
can-
actually very
Yeah.
helpful.
Right.
So that's a tip for if you want to. Maybe you can explain. I'll just write this down.
So what would be like you thought of this person, right? Hey, how is he doing? Right? And then 10 minutes later, he calls you, right? is that a coincidence or not, right? You can just write it down on a notebook and then see how many things happens, right? And another thing is, I don't know, maybe you were thinking about different person, and then you have a picture that person shopping at certain store, right? And then later that day you talk to that person, and oh, I was shopping at this store. And, oh, coincidence, right? And write it down and see what happens, right? Those kind of thing. It's yeah, it just helps to make connections.
It's easy to forget stuff. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's easy to get distracted. And,
Yeah, and then not putting value.
yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah, exactly. Right. If you undervalue your own experience, you tend to not, first of all, write it down, for example, and you tend to not look for possible ways that it could be validated, right? You'll just sort of, that happened, whatever, moving on to the next thing, right? So, and then if you don't put some effort into looking for those patterns, then you won't find it, right? So,
Yeah, and then more you are connected and understand, the stronger your sense becomes. It's like a muscle training, right? And stronger your sense becomes, and then you can use it for your benefit, right? And then making a decision which one is better, this one or this one. If you have stronger sixth sense, intuition, it really helps you, right? So for that reason, there's more reason, but you can do that, right? It's just it's sometimes I don't know, I'm jumping in a different place, but like I said, I wasn't really into the psychic thing, and not having bias and prejudice, right? But when I have some, like when I see a person that shouldn't be there, and I know that person shouldn't be there, but she is there, like, and then it's not like I feel like I'm using here. I can feel like I can see, right? Like I can see the camera, I can see the computer, right? Same way I can see that
I'm not
person.
clear what you mean, so maybe you can help me and the
So-
audience. So,
so
when you
like
say
a-
you're seeing something that shouldn't be there, you mean
ghost.
a spirit?
Yeah.
You see spirit, a person's spirit standing there, and you understand that they are
Not
in
it's
spirit.
not- yeah.
They're there in spirit, right? They're not there physically. Okay.
So like if that happens, it's not. It feels like I'm using my eyesight, right? Almost like I can see in colors. I can see.
You can see colors
Yeah.
with it?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then it's
I didn't know.
it's like sometimes, right? Sometimes I don't. But then it's like, and then sometimes I hear it like someone is really talking right here in the room, right? Then how can I explain about this thing? I cannot say I'm making it in my head. Like,
Traditional psychiatrists would say you're hearing it. It's all in your head, right?
Yeah.
You're just.
But I see.
You need medicine to stop
Yeah,
this.
but
right?
like you don't say I see a computer here in front of me, and you wouldn't say I'm making it up in my head.
Yeah.
How about this person sitting right beside computer?
Yeah.
It's same
Yeah.
to me, right? And then okay, so it's
Is
how
there
can
someone
I
here right now? I'm just wondering, since you're bringing this up.
not in colors, So I don't know. How can I say? Um,
So the answer is yes.
not in color, so I can. These things I can say if I want, and or some people can say that it's in my head, right? Because I can feel that I'm seeing using my third eyes, right? So that is different from when they show up in colors and like
Oh, okay. So what you're saying is there's different.
sometimes it shows up strong, like a yes,
Yeah. Okay.
right?
Other times it's different somehow. What is the difference?
I don't know. It's energy. Sometimes they show up
Just
like
as
that.
energy,
Yeah,
not
as an
not
energy.
as like as something you see, like a person
Some
there.
I can kind of see it, but see more like energy, like a light, shadowy, different light, but that kind of thing, and not like this, like that. But sometimes I can see where, who, uh, not who, what she is wearing, what he is wearing, that pattern. It's just like I'm seeing this. You have greenish, grayish.
I don't
I
know what
have
color
no
this
idea what
is. It's
this
greenish,
is,
grayish. Yeah.
right? Button up shirt,
Yeah.
right? And just that person is just walking by beside whoever is real in the physical body, walking by. Okay, right? So,
So in
that,
other words, you do see when we're going out somewhere, you'll see a person that you know is a physical human, alive person walking, and you'll see sometimes a spirit walking right beside them,
not all the time. I'm not.
and you can
I,
tell the difference.
yes,
Obviously, right?
they're transparent.
They're transparent.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like what you'd see in the movies.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes. Mhm.
So is it kind of like
I never touched them, so I don't know what happened.
so describe that for me. Is it kind of like if you just maybe a little bit see through? Is
Yeah.
that what it'd be like?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Fuzzy
really
like energy coming off, or just a little bit see through?
a little bit see-through, not fuzzy. Like I said, when I feel the energy, and it's more fuzzy, right? But sometimes really, really see a person. It's just only
When they come through
see-through.
really strong, what is it? What do they look like? Like the transparent?
Yeah,
A
person.
little bit transparent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And when when they're coming through strong, it's always like that, or is it sometimes you see energy with them too, or something?
Yeah, energy. So probably it's just the level of how strong the power is, how much they want to show up. I don't know how that works, but yeah, it's all how much I'm tuning into. I don't know how it works, but it's yeah, I don't know. Somebody can tell me. There's a comment.
Oh, let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's one of those ones. So how much time? We're
15
15 minutes. I'm not sure we have enough time to go into this paper now. So
What paper?
yeah, well, a scientific paper. I do want to talk about that, but maybe we can move it to the next one.
Okay.
We can do that one on the next time.
You want it?
Because what you're talking about right now is actually really interesting. So we can just keep going with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So paper next week.
Yeah.
Do you have the proof or something?
Yes.
The proof
Yes.
about what?
I'll give away the headline a little bit. It's a scientific study that was done really beautifully, and I can't imagine how you could crack it and make it show that it's not showing fact. right? Just to show that it's called invalidating the results. So, or that it's somehow faked or biased or something like that, right? So, it's a beautiful experiment, and it proves that this kind of stuff is real. That
Okay.
people do have a sixth sense.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I want
it's real.
to see.
Yeah.
Because I cannot prove really.
That's
I can
that's
talk
so much
about
the trouble, right?
I
Yeah.
can talk about it, and then it's all up to them
Yeah,
how they take it
Yeah.
or not, right?
Yeah.
I, but I know it's real because it is happening. I know I'm not making it up because I receive validations too, right? Lots of times with clients, like one client, and when as soon as she showed up, I saw a boy right beside her, not in spirit, right? And then there's a boy in spirit right beside her, and he doesn't leave. And then we start the session. I talked about this boy. I see a boy, and then so she didn't tell me, but I knew it wasn't her boy in this life. It's coming from past life. That's what he was saying. So boy from past life, and not this life, right? And then she's like, yeah, I don't have a kid, but actually I had many times dreamt about a boy and that was my son, right? And then it's like
Wow. Yeah.
yeah, it's one thing, and other things I cannot come up with a clear one, but it's just like I say, this person, and it feels like it's your grandpa, great grandpa, and he looks like this, and he talks like this, and then right, and then that matches with that person, right? And but I'm just explaining what I see, what I feel, and that's they agree that he was like that, right? And he talks like this. Yes, he talks like that, right? And it's just, how can you explain, right?
Yeah, right. It's uncanny.
If I'm making
How,
it
yeah,
up.
like how would you know that stuff when you have never spoken to this client before? You don't know anything about their life, right? And who would make that up, right? If like if that if that client was talking to somebody or talking to a psychic who was not for real, why they would never come up with that, right? So you knowing that, you seeing that is it's validation for them too, right? Because she's felt things, right? And she's experienced things through her life that have kind of gone that way, but she hasn't had an external validation, and maybe isn't necessarily she's getting probably feelings about what the message is, but not necessarily a clear message. And then when you say it, it's like, oh yeah, right. That's been my experience when I worked with a psychic previously, right? That I've had feelings about things, but I don't necessarily pay as much attention to it as I need to, or I don't get a clear cut message with it, right? And then when I'm working with the psychic, they'll tell me this and that, and it's just like, oh my god, where did you get that from, right? Just like you're saying, right? It's like, where'd you get that boy from, right? That's like pulling it out of the blue sky. And that's where been my experience with psychics, and that it validates my own intuition at the same time. I'm understanding that this person is for real, right? So there's a two-way validation that goes on, right? Yeah.
yeah.
I think that's probably why your friend maybe was excited about it too, but maybe she was just somebody who was just curious and wanted to know things ahead of time, kind of thing, and just like, oh, this is exciting. I don't know what she was doing with it. So
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
She just loved those kind of things, and just getting excited about.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's not exciting when she receives that bad news, right?
Yeah.
Right, and
Yeah.
then it's I don't know. I don't know. It's just yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was something that I wouldn't want to pay money for.
Well,
Stop suddenly. But it's but now it's just I don't know. It's not like I keep saying. It's not like I believe, right? It's there, and we are using it,
mm-hmm.
right? And it's like we have those senses, five senses, and then sixth sense. Some people say seventh sense. Oh, right.
Oh,
Have
I
you heard
don't.
that?
I
I've
think
heard that.
so.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think I've heard
somewhere.
that before.
I didn't look into it
But
deeply, but
Is that what is the
I
seventh
have
one?
no idea. So we'll
Honestly,
skip that. But we have.
I think
we
six
have,
it kind of encompasses it all to me.
Yeah,
To me, that's what it does. It's like
We-
there's more.
Yeah,
Right.
and we have those senses. We want to use it. Like we want to use our seeing and hearing
Mhm.
and then feeling. Right, we use those one, and if we have sixth sense, we want to, of course, use it for our benefit.
Mhm.
Right?
Mhm.
It's like we taken that out.
Blinder.
Yeah, and then right, it's less things you can do, right? If you are not using the full senses,
Mhm.
then let's use all the senses that we have,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And the six senses, actually, it's not just one, like you were saying. It's has seeing and hearing and feeling
Yeah.
and what else? Smelling too,
Touch. Yeah.
and feeling is a touch, right?
Well, to me,
What's-
there's a feeling of just like feeling it all over
Oh,
and
okay.
then
So emotional feeling and
feeling it
physical.
when you
feeling,
touch
okay.
something, right? But
So yeah.
I don't know if that's really.
Oh,
Yeah.
you can feel like you're getting hit. That happens, right? You're getting burned, right? That's I think it's more like an impact thing, and how to breathe, kind of thing. That's I'm just sitting in the same spot, but once you connect it to someone else, right? So that's probably feeling, right? That's feeling, touching. So seeing, hearing, feeling the physical feeling and an emotional feeling. That's that too. And what else we have?
Well,
Knowing.
yeah, there's knowing as well,
Yeah.
right? You just know it, and then there's a precognition where you know something in the future. There's just all those different types, right? Yeah.
So
Telepathy, where it's connecting between two people, right?
you separate those ones.
Those are all separated. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
but knowing,
Yeah.
you can group them together.
To me, it's fair to just put them all as sixth sense.
Yeah, but like I'm saying, sixth sense, it's different senses. And
Yes.
then they
Yeah.
use just like the physical senses. Some people are good with hearing. Some people good with hands-on feeling. Right. Some people like a visual person. Same thing. Right. And a sixth sense. You might be good at seeing, as a sixth sense, or hearing. Everybody's have different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's something for people to. It's a little bit tricky for people when they're not clear and they're not confident, right, in their abilities when they're picking up something and it's some unknown sense, right, for any one of those, right. So what they're picking up, but if you are honest towards your own experience, right, and you don't, and this is what we would definitely encourage people to consider doing is to not dismiss it, right, and just treat it for what it really is. Like, and sometimes it's a matter of you sensing that there's something dangerous about the situation, right? You get bad vibes from certain people. Pay attention. That's what that would be the way I deal with it, right? Is to pay attention, right? And to not just ignore that and go ahead anyway, because you want something that's maybe, right? Like, you're on a date and you're kind of charmed by that person, but at the same time you're getting kind of a right. I would pay attention to the that feeling. Forget about how charming they are, right? Forget about how attractive they are. If you're getting that negative feeling somehow, I would go with that. Yeah, for
Examine and pay attention to that. Like it's like you're talking about animal, how they have stronger sixth sense and they can sense when it starts to rain or when it starts to have a earthquake kind of thing. They can sense it. Animal have that, and we are same.
We're animals.
Yeah, we are animals, right? And so we have that too, right? We're not different. We are different, but we're as an animal creature on the earth, universe. It's right, and we're not using as much. That's all. That's the difference, right? So just for our benefit, it just why not using it, right?
Yeah.
So
just to give you a teaser, now it's going to be a teaser for next week instead of this week. But it's great just to actually just sort of introduce the subject, because we're going to actually plan to do this over the next while, is talk more about this subject, right?
maybe.
And go into different aspects of it. So one person that I think is really worth paying attention to is Rupert Sheldrake. Some people would have already heard about him, but some people perhaps not. He's one of my heroes. He's a scientist who is open-minded and honest about the subject. Oh my God, right? And then he goes and does actually well-designed experiments to really look into it. Other people have done this too, but his approach is a little bit different. He's a little more broad-minded, I think, right? And has a little bit bigger vision, that comes through in the approach he takes to his work. So it's beautiful stuff. I love it. I just love it. Yeah, there's a few guys I have for heroes. He's one of them. Yeah. So check him out, and we'll talk more about him next week.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. And if you ever have any comments or questions, please write into us. And we're gonna see you again on Aether next Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, thank you for watching. See you next week.
Bye bye.